This video was sponsored by Card Kingdom. You can visit their store by using my referral link in the description below. What's happening? The world wants us to draft werewolves, okay? That's what it wants. What else do we have in this pack? I think you take Tovolar. I think he's strong enough that you sort of, try to make it happen. If it doesn't, it's not a disaster. I mean, Cathartic Pyre's good. But, Tovolar, even on his own, is a great card. And if you get more werewolves, he's even crazier. So, I think we probably take him here over the Pyre or the Blade Stitch Scob. It's certainly the more fun pick, but I think there's a lot of people that would take the Pyre. It is true. Tovolar is a source of card advantage for the red-green decks. That's something they don't have a whole lot of. That is funny. We had a first pick Ren and 7, and now we've got Tovolar. Okay, so Geist Flame Reservoir is pretty good overall. I think it's probably a little better in a spell deck. But, yeah. Thank you for the follow, Jack Damage and Marty Supreme. It's still a great source of card advantage. It's another one. Play with Fire is good. Famished Forge is good too, but I think we take the Reservoir here and see what happens. Yeah, you just need to have ways to generate card advantage in red. Find them if you can in red-green, because there aren't very many of them. Yeah, I pack one, picked one Tovolar once before, and I think we went like 3 and 3 because, red-green. But this is a good first couple of picks, I think. Card Advantage Engine and Card Advantage Engine to some extent. A little less engine-y, but actually impacts the board is the upside there. Okay. Well, so we could have had 2 Blade Stitch Scobs so far. Foul Play is pretty good, but I think we probably take Hound Tamer. It's just a great card anyway. Like, you would play this in every green deck. It's always going to make the cut, and it's always going to be a pretty good card. And we already have Werewolf Synergy, and this is another card that's a Werewolf payoff, so I think we go for it. Okay, so really good white cards still here in Audric's Outrider. I think that's probably what we take. I mean, the red and green cards in this pack are nothing special, and we don't really want to force red and green if we don't have to, and we don't. So I'm going to take the Outrider. It's significantly better than the other things in this pack. Okay, decent red cards, but the green cards here I think are better. Broodweaver, it's more of a defensive card than an aggressive one, and Rejuvenator, which is a good source of fixing. If we were going to go 3 colors or splash something, it enables it. I think I like it a little more than the Weaver. The Weaver does have Reach, which this deck does need, but there are commons with Reach that we'd be perfectly happy with, and I think sort of securing some fixing here isn't a bad idea. Okay, so this is interesting because Audric's Outrider is really good with Flesh Taker. None of these green cards are that good. This is a reasonable red card, so it may be what we're supposed to take here. This is another Reach card if we really wanted one. I don't think we take Flesh Taker, given what things look like right now for us. Search Party Captain's pretty good too, though, so maybe white is pretty open, but I think we'll take the Foragers. There's a pretty late Graph Keeper, too, which is a nice card. These 3 red cards are all pretty solid, though. I think we probably take the Elementalist. I mean, we don't really... It's unlikely we end up with enough spells to really utilize the Crasher effectively. You just need a few spells for the Elementalist, and it's also another source of card advantage. So... Okay, so not great white cards. Shadow Beast Sighting is pretty good, though. Yeah, it's pretty nice to have. It's another source of card advantage. So, you know, red-green, I guess, does end up with some of it, but it's less sort of easy to make it happen than it is in some of the other color pairs. We'll take Lamholt Harrier here. It's a nice little 2-drop. It did some serious work for us in our last draft, which was also a werewolf draft. We'll take another Foragers, I think. If we can find ways to double spell with Foragers, it's going to feel pretty good. Bramble Armor, not that interested. I do think it's playable, but I don't think we wanted it. So we have 2 cards that pay us off for Wolves right now. So do we want Snarling Wolf or Mounted Dread Knight? They're both fine. I guess we'll go with the Wolf. Yeah, if we're going to be crazy aggressive, maybe we want Abandon the Post. A decent trick and a decent other creature. I think we'll go with the other creature, but... So, luckily, this isn't really a bomb, so it doesn't break my heart that we opened it and don't have a single... Well, I guess we have 1 white card in our sideboard, huh? But, yeah. So, Spellrune Painter is nice, but I think Dawnheart Mentor is just going to be better most of the time, even without being a werewolf. The 2 bodies are great. It helps you set up Coven, and then it has Coven. We wouldn't mind Duel for Dominance or Spellrune Painter, but I think we take the Mentor here. This time our curve's not looking nearly as good as it did in the last one. We're going to need some more early drops in the near future. We have a lot of 4s, too. Okay, so some nice stuff in this pack. I mean, Search Party Captain would be nice, you know, if that's kind of where we were headed. How many vampires do we have right now? 2? Neonate's Rush is a little interesting. We kind of need 2 drops, though, and this is a good one. So I think we'll take it. I like it more than the Harrier. You know, putting a counter somewhere can really have a big impact. Yeah. Okay, so here's a Natural Moonrise, which is supposed to be a big payoff for this deck. But I don't think it's great. It's another way to try to get card advantage. I might take it here. I mean, but I think since Duel for Dominance is here, I'd probably just take that. It's just a good removal spell. Yeah, we're just going to take the Duel. If red-green's open enough, that might just wheel. So this is interesting. We have the same pick, and I think we do it again. Dawnheart Mentor over Spellrune Painter. Yeah, that's where we go. Wouldn't mind a Bird Admirer or a Spellrune Painter, but Dawnheart Mentor is really good, so... Yeah, there's definitely a good chance it'll wheel, the Moonrise. Okay. So right now, we're not doing, like, amazing with spells. We have 1 instant and 1 sorcery. I still think we take Spellrune Painter. It's a werewolf after all, and we'll end up with enough for it to matter sometimes. It's extra good with Duel for Dominance, too, as we saw in our last game. Oh, hello. So this is another really great uncommon werewolf. You do need to really secure a bunch of these to feel good about your werewolf deck, and between Hound Tamer and this, they're both really great uncommon werewolves, and it's what we take here. I mean, it's just great on a base, in its base form, and when it transforms, it's amazing, so... We do need more 2-drops, but I think we forego one there for the powerful creature. I'm more likely to play Bramble Armor or Neonate's Rush. Kind of feel like the answer is the Rush, but... Yeah. Okay, so this is kind of the least exciting of this group of werewolves, but I think we probably still take it. I wouldn't mind Immolation. Wouldn't mind Voldaren Stinger, but I think sort of setting up our top curve with more werewolves is good. Okay, Spellrune Painter wheeled. I'm down with that. Is another one gonna wheel? Wasn't there like one other one? I think the other one might wheel too. That would be cool. But yeah, what we really need to do in our final pack is secure lower drops, basically. And here's one. I think we take it over the cavalry for sure. Yeah, burn the accursed. We do need more removal too. It's true. We need a little bit of removal. I mean, I think I'd be happy with more duels for dominance and more 2-drops like in the last pack. It's basically what we're looking for. Okay, so Moonrise came back. I think we take it over Bounding Wolf. Stolen Vitality is not a bad trick, but... Okay, so the other painter made it back. Interesting. So we got all the uncommon werewolves you want, which makes sense. I mean, it is the weakest color pair, and a lot of people are just out on it. But, you know, we'll see. It definitely feels like this was more open this draft than in our last draft. But we'll see what happens. All right, there's a decent 2. I mean, it's not as good in this deck as it is in others. Oh, hello. So this thing's great. Speaking of crazy sources of card advantage, it's definitely what we take here. We would love play with fire or burn the accursed too. Like we could use removal, but Augur of Autumn is amazing. So, you know, it's just going to draw us cards if it's allowed to live. So we're down with that. So let's pick up like 2 removal spells this pack and like 4 or 5 more 1s or 2s. Although we're doing better on 2s than I was thinking. I forgot we got that perforator. Oh my god. All right, well, I think we take Tovolar here. A 3rd Dawnheart Mentor would be cool, but Tovolar's definitely better. And we have a lot of wolves and werewolves, so he's going to be extra good. And we already have 1, so... The bad news is it's legendary. But the good news is, it's going to die a lot. So, it's not going to usually come up. It will sometimes, like, in situations, it's going to come up where, like, we get them both in our opening hand, but it's unlikely. So, no 2-drops here. Rise of the Ants is nice, but I think our top curve, I mean... I guess we could use Rise of the Ants. It is another spell for our cards that care about that. Silverbolt is removal. It's not amazing, but it is removal, and maybe it's just what we take here because we need it. I mean, Bird Admirer would be nice, too, overall. But, yeah, I think we're desperate enough for removal that we grab a Silverbolt here. All right. So, no 2-drops here. There is a Bird Admirer, but I think we grab Burn the Accursed. Okay, so here's another nice uncommon werewolf. He's not as exciting as the others just because this format doesn't have that many enchantments and artifacts, but it is a 2-drop, so we're more than happy to take it here. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely the best werewolf deck I've drafted so far, and we had a pretty good one a minute ago that went 2 and 3. So, but this one is definitely better, so. Tavern Ruffian is not great. I think we probably grab a 2-drop over a Vandal. Also another wolf. Stolen Vitality or Neonate's Rush. We have 3 vampires. I don't think we're that into Neonate's Rush. And we're not a spell deck either, really. Yeah, I think I'll take Stolen Vitality. I kind of doubt it makes the cut, but that's what we're going to take there. Ooh, nice late duel for dominance. It's going to be good in this deck. Wow. People are really out on red, huh? So we're going to grab Play with Fire here pretty happily. We don't need any more either of these, so... Another 2-drop or a 5-drop. I mean, I think we're doing okay. I mean, our top curve is sort of our creatures transforming. Or flashing things back. So I think maybe we grab another 2. Alright, we got a Bird Admirer in the end, which I'm pretty happy about, because that is one thing we're not going to do a great job of. Is okay, so here I'm actually going to grab a Cavalry. I think we have enough 2s now that we can do it. Okay, so... we did end up with plenty of 2s. It's going to be kind of a tough one to trim just because it was so open. Guess we don't need the Rejuvenator at all. There's one easy cut. Foragers, I mean, we probably need to cut some 4s. How many spells did we end up with? 4 instants and 2 sorceries. That's probably enough for Ardent Elementalist, but most of them aren't that amazing. Like, rebuying one of them isn't that great, frankly. So I don't think we're really that interested in it. The Vandals do make it so it's going to be night or day, which we care about, obviously, but it's not great. Yeah, with the Foragers, it's tempting to think of situations where we, like, play it and then use the 3 mana to play one of these, which will happen, but probably not often enough. So, I think that is probably where we go. Do we need Silverbolt still? We've got Play with Fire, 2 duels for dominance. Yeah, we probably still do. So we probably end up cutting the Cavalry here, I would think. And then I think the Reservoir is going to be fine. I mean, we need ways to win in the late game. I mean, it might be a little annoying in some opening hands, but yeah, we do need ways to win early. So we have so many 2s that cutting some of them is not terrible. Yeah, the Village Watch isn't great, but I think it's good enough, especially with werewolf stuff going on in our deck. So, but yeah. Snarling Wolf's not great. I think maybe we do end up just cutting Silverbolt. Probably not. So, I don't hate going down to like 1 each of these sort of mediocre 2-drop wolves. Although maybe I should cut the Perforator first, but we have so many cuts that I just need to do it. So, just need to do it. Man. We have a whole lot of playable cards. Which is a good problem to have, but that's why I keep coming back to Silverbolt, because we're going to have to cut things that you would normally just play, you know? Oh yeah, we could actually probably cut both Vandals. That's a good call. I kind of forgot about them. They're probably at the bottom of the barrel for our deck. So I probably want to cut, given the fact that we have 2 Tovalars, and not to mention the 2 uncommon werewolf payoffs, I think we probably want to put back in a Harrier, probably cut a Perforator. I mean, we probably want to jam as many wolves into the deck as we can that aren't mediocre. And that might also mean replacing Timberland Guide with a Pestilent Wolf for similar reasons. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. We could probably go down to 17 lands with this deck. Or 16, excuse me. I guess we have a lot of 3s. We do kind of need, like, Timberland Guide. We don't have enough 2s if we don't run it. I mean, I guess we can play Silverbolt on turn 1, too, which is a play, but Is Geist Flame Reservoir too outside of what this deck really wants to be doing? Probably not. I mean, we do have better... You know, Augur of Autumn is like a way better version of Geist Flame Reservoir, basically, but yeah, we can go down to... We actually probably... Do we just want to cut a mountain? No, that seems dangerous. Need to cut 2 more cards. Spellrune or Dawnheart. Yeah... We have a whole lot of... We have 18 creatures and 8 non-creatures. So we can definitely afford to cut some creatures, especially because this is basically a creature. I don't think we really want to cut I mean, maybe going down one Spell Rune Painter makes sense because we don't have a million spells, but I think it's too good. But we do need to cut some threes, and we have to pick the things to cut somewhere. I mean, Bird Admirer is definitely the worst of this group, but it's our only card with reach. I may still do it. I may still axe the Bird Admirer here because it's just so much worse than the other things. It is a werewolf. Dawnheart Mentor's not, you know, but I think she's good enough that I don't really care. Alright, I think I'm going to cut Silverbolt. And maybe we go down to 2 Spell Rune Painters. Would I rather have 3 Spell Rune Painters or 1 or 2 Dawnheart Mentors? I mean, maybe it is just Village Watch. Like, no. Yeah, I think we do need to keep the 1 Bird Admirer, even though in a vacuum it's definitely worse than Spell Rune Painter is. All right. So that draft was wide open. If red-green is this open and we can't put up a winning record, it's impossible. Just impossible. Or we'll get hands like this one. Alright, we're going to mulligan. This one is much, much better. God, what do I throw away? I mean, Geist Flame Reservoir is not great early, but it's pretty darn good late, but I think it is probably still what we get rid of. I mean, Shadow Beast Sighting is not amazing, but it does sort of let us curve out a bit. Thank you for the sub, Malazoid MTG. Maybe it is just the sighting. Yeah. I think that's where we'll go there. We're having a very slow start, which this deck doesn't have nearly as aggressive of a curve as our last Werewolf deck, so it's not quite as unusual, I don't think, but I'll tell you what I don't want them to play here is that 3/3. Oh my god. Well, that card is really hard to beat if we don't kill it soon. And we can't right now, so... Alright, player mentor here. I mean, luckily it can't completely run us over here without some help, but it's still a scary card. So they can just swing with both, I guess is the plan here. Yeah. So the mentor will block the 3/3. They might have a way to finish her off. They do. That's not, like, a complete disaster, I don't think. So I think we just go ahead and play both of these creatures and pass our turn. We're definitely in some trouble here. What a surprise, right? It's Werewolf Day. The fact that they played 2 X3s is so obnoxious. It's like, oh, I'm glad I have Play with Fire in my hand. So we can start reservoiring, which is good. But we're going to have to live long enough to take advantage of it. which may or may not be possible. So, I'm kind of leaning towards just taking this hit. Yeah, I'm just going to take both. They could end up doing a bunch out of nowhere, but I kind of think that's where we were. Okay. So... now it's nighttime. So I guess we play Spell Rune Painter and leave up Play with Fire here. Try to find a way to take advantage of that. I could try to use Death Touch, but I think just play Spell... I could untransform everything too, but I think things being transformed is okay with us, since we have two creatures who enjoy the benefit of transformation. I could attack with my 1/1 here, but I think I'm going to leave it back just to be a little cautious. Thank you for the follow, Human Gled. So they're going to kill something here. I haven't gotten to play with this yet, so hopefully we do. If we do, we'd probably win this game, because it means the game's gone long enough for us to grind out an advantage, but... okay. Costs 6 to flashback, right? Yes. Interesting they wanted to use it there, though, but it's whatever. I may use Play with Fire just to do 2 to them and scry, if I can set up a good block with our Spell Rune Howler, anyway. Oh my god. Is this really happening right now? Yes, it is. Okay. Well, that's not what you want. So we probably double block, Storm Charge, Slasher, and go to like 2 here. Except if we go to 2, we're dead to this. Ugh. So we don't have any good blocks here, basically. That's what I'm saying. Of course you have that too. Why wouldn't you? You know? Why wouldn't you? Okay, so we can go to 2 here, but we lose our whole board. Actually, can we even go to 2 now? That pump? 14? No. No, we can't. Well, that was frustrating. We're doing werewolf experimentation today, and it's not going so well. What a surprise. This is our second draft of the day. We drafted a werewolf deck in the first draft of the day, too. You know, we have 2 Tovalars. Where were they? Of course, they would have stolen it and wrecked us, so, you know. I guess it wouldn't have mattered. Alright, this seems fine. 2-drop, 3-drop werewolf, duel for dominance. I can live with it. I do think we lead with the Liberator here, just in case they can't play a spell. Like that. So we're gonna have a pretty nasty curve here, because we got all our werewolves, and they are jacked. Hey look, we're playing against another red-green deck. Milled 2 cards with flashback, huh? Okay, so Definitely just rumble here. Then I probably play Pestilent Wolf, because that lets me leave up Dual Predominance, which will give a counter to a thing. So that'll be pretty good. They may be about to untransform us, but... Okay, well, we're going to blow this out at least. I guess we're going to go make this bigger because it can attack more effectively this next turn. So we blow out the duel here. If we draw land, we get to play Village Watch, which is cool. And they're pretty much dead if we draw land. We do not. But that's okay. So that's 8. I can do 9 if I want to, but I think it's probably better to actually play something. Alright, yeah, it's too late. So, there we go. I know it's only been 2 games, but the fact that we haven't seen one of our 2 Tovalars is kind of crazy. I guess that game was really fast, so it's not like we saw that many cards. All right, good opener. I forgot we have Augur of Autumn, too, man. We have some powerful stuff. That's the problem, though, is it's like, this is a good stuff deck, and everything else in the format is a lot more synergistic. But, you know, we'll see how this goes. This is a good hand. I mean, these are all good cards, and we can hopefully kill an early thing. Hopefully we don't go up against someone who just refuses to play X2s again, like we did in Game 1, where I play with fire was like in our opening hand, and we never played it. It was very weird. Oh, yeah, that's right. We had that horrible hand that we mulled. Okay, we technically saw him. Alright, so they're not playing anything. I like that. Especially if what they do play on this turn has 2 toughness. There's a reasonable chance that it won't. Oh, okay. Well, I can actually kill that. The question is whether I want to do it right now or let them untap and potentially use a trick like the human one. I think we'll go ahead and kill it. Alright, so we don't want to play Augur of Autumn yet. I think we just play Hound Tamer here. If our opponent passes the turn again, it's going to get bigger. Okay. So there's Tovalar. Yeah. I'm thinking I probably just play Tovalar and pass here. I could attack. Actually, it's a free attack with the Tamer because of the counters. Yeah, so we'll just attack with the Tamer. And if what they want to make us do is put a counter on it, I think we're down with it. Yeah. But we'll just play Tovalar now. So if we can play the haste one next turn, we'll be in really good shape. Do they have Burn Down the House? No. Thank God it's not Burn Down the House. So that is a big old creature. I can't quite get big enough to take it down. I've got options here. That's for sure. You become a 4/4, you become a 4/4. Wonder if it's best to just pass the turn and leave up Duel for dominance. And then I have his ability online. They can double spell and undo it. And then I won't use all my mana, and that's annoying. I think we probably just play the Augur here. Spell Rune Painter's on top. We don't currently have Coven. But we can still leave up Duel for dominance. So that's what I'm going to do. Might take a big hit here, but it could be worth it. This will be big enough that I can attack with it, which is nice, if they pass their turn here. And based on how they're playing right now, I think they're worried about the fact that they might have to pass their turn. That's what I'm hoping for. Maybe that's a hope. Okay, well, that's not good. So, yeah, we're not dueling anything. Hey, there's a land. Okay, so if I play the Mentor, I will have Coven, and then I can also play the Painter. So that seems pretty good. Then next turn we can play Village Watch. 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so let's do this. Let's just try to outcard them like crazy here. It's usually a pretty good idea, right? We do have to pass the turn here. But I think in the near future, we're going to be able to rumble quite impressively. Pass your turn. Darn it. Uh-oh. Okay, things are starting to get a little sketchy. They, you know, Search Party Captain did the same thing for them that our Augur did for us. But I'm hoping our Augur can help us find removal. Alright, so play this land off the top. So now I can kill the Dread Knight with Duel. Yeah. He is out of gas, which is great. And our whole board just transformed, which is also great. So double spelling is a little bit of a non-bow because we'll lose our werewolves. However, yeah, I mean, I think we use Duel here on our Howler to kill the Dread Knight. And suddenly they do all have trample too, which is nice. I think I'm going to rumble with both of those. Don't think Tovolar gets in there here. Should I just swung out? Maybe. Maybe I should have. At least with these two. I wouldn't have swung with, like, the things that it doesn't make sense to swing with, but... So we get to trample here and draw cards. I mean, that's the real... That's what makes this attack a lot less problematic. Because, yeah, they can block or whatever, but they're going to get wrecked in the process, and we'll draw cards. So, yeah. So... I don't really see how they're gonna overcome that, but I guess we'll see. They did manage to only let us draw one. It took some work on their part, but they did do it. If they drew a land, these guys are gonna transform again, which will be great. Yeah. All right. Tovolar plus Augur of Autumn. They got it done. Thank you for the resub, Avalanche. We haven't had to play blue-black yet, which is probably why we're 2-1. Alright, I mean, a 2-drop would be nice, but we have very nice cards in our hand. So I can live with it. And we're on the play, so not having a 2-drop isn't a complete disaster. So many 3-drops. Alright, blue-red. I think we lead with Hound Tamer here. What we want to happen here is that next turn we can play Tovolar and attack with the Tamer. That's what we want to happen. Maybe about to eat a Pyre, so... Cathartic Pyre to the face. Seems likely. Oh, or Light Up the Night. I'd much rather they use Light Up the Night, so I can live with that. Alright, so I think we'll play the Painter here. Same logic, you know. We want to find a way to play Tovolar and get in there right away if we can. Yeah. Their Painter is probably better in their deck overall, I would guess. Ooh, so I can transform you on the spot. That is interesting. So you'll be a 4/5 with trample. That seems pretty reasonable, especially if I also play Tovolar, which I can do. And they'll both transform. Yeah. Oh, I kind of forgot theirs would also transform, not gonna lie. So, I mean, that's okay. It's not as good as I was thinking. Because it basically ends up being like a 2 for 1.5. They kind of come out ahead there. I think Tovolar's probably dead, and we're pretty much out of gas, so I'm not liking our chances here. I needed to draw a card there to really be in good shape. And I did not do it. That's funny. I mean, I can just Moonrise again, and then you can't kill it in combat. So I guess that's what I'm gonna do. So we get to draw 2 here, unless they have another removal spell. Okay, that works. Alright, we got to 3 wins with werewolves. How high can we go? Who knows? Thank you for the follow, Fiher. That Unnatural Moonrise was going to be nasty, because we were going to draw 2 cards off of it, and they were going to take, like, 7. So, if they had an answer, we would have gotten blown out, but they didn't, apparently. Alright, I think we can keep this. We're on the draw, so hitting a 3rd land is likely, and we have 2 drops anyway, and everything else in our hand costs 3. So, it's a pretty good opener. Oh, Lunarch Veteran. Such an annoying card. I do like they didn't do anything, though. Because if they don't do anything again, we're going to get a 3/3. Okay, we got to 4 wins, because our opponent got angry and quit. Little do they know, I also don't have a third land, and we weren't exactly guaranteed to win, but I'll take it. I mean, a natural Moonrise would have been pretty nasty there, but it wouldn't have been that great. I mean, that was like basically the best thing I could have done if I didn't draw a third land, but yeah. Right, we're in the green with a werewolf deck. Like I said earlier, I think I went 4 and 3 with one once already in the format, but it's been a while. This is a good hand. Uh-oh. We've been lucky not to see that card so far, because it wrecks us. You know, Ambitious Farmhand is a nice card. Okay, so I think we'll go with the Harrier. I don't really want them to kill either of these werewolves because they're pretty darn good, but I probably have to pick which one I want to die more or less. Alright, so we're going to take one. I mean, there's a chance, or we won't. Okay, I like it. They can't transform it right now, but they can kill my Harrier. I think we attack. I mean, if they want to do a thing, I say do it. And if we just get in for 2, I'm fine with that. So. Nice. That is what I wanted them to do, pretty much. That probably means we just play Tovolar and put them in a place where they've got to play something, or Tovolar's a problem. But maybe we don't do that. Maybe we play Hound Tamer and then play Tovolar next turn and attack with Hound Tamer. Yeah, that seems reasonable. There's like a reasonable chance they have removal here, but I think we still play Tovolar first and attack with the pup for the value. They could have removal here. I mean, Defenestrate's on the table. The -13/-13 thing's on the table. Okay. Well, I guess maybe they're just going to double block Untamed Pup. I'd be down. Less down for that, but if they just block, I get to draw a card. And that's pretty good overall, I think. Yeah. They do get a 1/1 and gain some life, but I like drawing a card. Would have liked for it to be a land, because we still haven't played one this turn, but, you know. What are you going to do? Okay, so our situation continues to be surprisingly precarious. I think we rumble here. We can give them trample. Oh my god. How many people are going to rage quit against werewolves today? I mean, we do have a silly werewolf deck, to be fair, but I'm surprised. We've been in, that was again a situation where opponent really shouldn't have quit, I don't think, because we were not, I mean, if their hand was full of lands, maybe it makes sense. But I don't know. Probably not. Because we had 3 lands. It's not like we were over there like, you know, the fistful of cards we could play 2 spells a turn or anything. Yeah, win is a win. That's right. Werewolves will take it. That one was at least less free than our previous one where our opponent scooped on like turn 2 or 3. Whatever it was. That game, our opponent, like, Sort of tried to put up some resistance, but couldn't do it. And then they rage quit. So, you know. All right, we would love green mana, of course, but we have red stuff in our hand, and we're likely to draw green, right? See? I told you. Player Harrier. Our deck feels like we have so many werewolves that Tovalar just feels like Toski. So we can't really attack here. We're just going to play our Bird Admirer and end our turn. Well, that's annoying. We're going to play this and pass the turn. And next turn we could potentially double spell. We are, I want to say 5-1 Aegis Slayer. Oh my god. Well, there's a good thing to kill with, play with fire. That's for sure. And that's what we'll be doing. And then we can give this first strike, so it's not really like they can block it. I mean, they can block it to chump it. But, yeah. So we'll just get in for 3, and then play Shadow Beast Sighting. That's not great for us. Probably just gonna attack and then end my turn here. I can make something unable to block, but, like, what's the point? You know? So I can get it up to, what do we have, 6 mana, so we can give it 6 power, which would still... No, I actually do need to make something unable to block here if I want to not... Yeah. So we'll make Gisa unable to block. And attack with our Brigand. Then next turn, he can pump our whole board, which is pretty awesome. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and do this. So if they have a kill spell here, Gisa's about to take over the game and, like, wreck us. If they don't have a kill spell here, I feel like we're in pretty good position. So how much does that ability cost? Kind of a lot. Kind of a lot. So I think we probably do not pump our whole board here. The question is whether I want to make a 4/4. So I could make Gisa unable to block and then attack with the token and the 4/5. That's not too bad. But I could also just make a 4/4 here. Then next turn I can make 2 things unable to block. That's what I'm leaning towards here. Let's go to combat, see what happens. We're not going to attack. And then we'll do this. They just have so much mana up that trying to do something is pretty dangerous. Yeah, they do get to bounce a 4/4. It's really only half a card, and they actually give up a whole card to get rid of half a card, so it's not heartbreaking. But it would have kind of been nice, I guess. So yeah, if they start firing off kill spells, they're going to start stealing our creatures, at which point... Okay. They got rid of both our tokens. Does look like an attack may have been wise there, but, you know. What are you gonna do? Oh yeah, that's a problem. We're in some trouble, I'd say. Give us a real card, please. It's pretty real. 4, 5, so we've got 8 mana. Stupid Dimir decks and all their silly value. Trying to decide if what I want to do here is like make Gisa unable to block and then attack with the Eviscerator. They'll transform their Awakener is the problem, so I think we kind of just have to hang back here. We need to draw, like, our, if we're going to win this game going long, we need to draw Edge of Autumn. We also need to draw removal for Gisa, because she makes it so any trade we might otherwise want to make is just bad. So, okay, that's not good. Siege Zombie can just end it for us as we continue to be unable to attack. They also just double spelled, which isn't good for us. Yeah, I mean, I guess we just keep adding to the board and hope we find some way to get out of this, but it's not looking great. This is what the blue-black deck does when it's at its best, is it just kills you with Siege Zombies and gets value out of sacking stuff and etc. And our opponent is all over that right now. I can still give them first strike, but they can block with enough things that it doesn't matter that I can give it first strike, unfortunately. Yeah, we need to draw our Augur of Autumn. Do we have any other cards that would break this open? I mean, removal would be useful just because I could get rid of Gisa and turn off the problematic ability, but I still have to deal with Siege Zombie, so it's not that great. I mean, I do have removal for both, but I have 0 cards in my hand, so I'm sort of at the mercy of randomness. At some point, just letting my board transform might be worth it, but I think it'll happen organically at some point here late in the game without me forcing it. I could attack with Pestilent Wolf, but that really doesn't seem worth it. Because, yeah, I can give it Death Touch, but it'll die, and then they'll gain control of it, so we're getting slowly bled by Siege Zombie. We have to draw... I guess our Geist Flame Reservoir would be pretty good, actually. That would be pretty good here. They might as well attack with the Drifter, because it's not like... Yeah, they would do more damage if they attack with the Drifter. Okay, so everybody just transformed, and that's nice, but given the situation, it's still very difficult for us to attack. If I play this land, it does mean I could potentially use this ability twice on a future turn. It also lets them know I have nothing, but, you know. Let's go to combat. We're not going to attack, because we can't, basically. And we'll play a forest and end our turn. Hey, they forgot to Siege Zombie us. I'll take it. That could be one more whole turn of action. Oh yeah, they would be attacking into Birded Mire. So that makes sense. It makes sense that they don't attack then, I suppose. Aha! So they finally got removal, and they're finally going to steal one of our creatures. I don't like it. Okay, so we can use that ability twice now. At this point, I can keep the card in my hand to bluff, though, and I think I will. Bogged down by blue-black. So they're going to get our creature. It's going to be a decayed version of our creature, but they'll be able to do something with it. My goodness, they forgot to siege zombie us again. Keep it up. Because that's the only way we have a chance. So what, we have 6 lands left? Okay. Another werewolf is certainly welcome here. Not really one we can attack with, because they still have Gisa in play, so we're just going to pass the turn. I mean, at some point I may have to bite the bullet, but it's not right now. I can tell you that much. Forget Siege Zombie again. Oh my god, they did. Keep it up. We would be at... Haven't they forgotten it 3 times now? So we'd be at like 8 or something if they weren't forgetting. Oh, yeah, they could be doing that. You might be right. Still seems weird. There's no reason to sandbag spells. Yeah, you're just saying that in general, not because of Siege Zombie. I get it. What we need to do is draw removal. If we can kill Gisa, we can start rumbling here pretty effectively. And all of our removal is still in our deck, other than Play with Fire, which can't kill Gisa anyway. So we have our 2 fight spells and at least 1 of the 5 damage thing. So that's kind of what we're waiting on here. Interesting. So because they did it now, I can just replay it. So... but it'll force me to double spell. That's their plan here. That's not really a disaster right now, because it's not like I can attack anyway. So I think we probably just play the Tamer. And it's a mana sink. I mean, we can start getting some real value out of its ability to put counters on things. So, I mean, maybe they can counter it, I guess. They can. Oh, I should have played my land first. Should have played my land first. Because then I could have paid for it. Should have played around that a little more effectively. Alright, I think they just remembered they can siege zombie us, unfortunately. Which means we'll be dead soon. So, I could kill it with Death Touch. They'd get my wolf, but maybe that's just worth it. It really might be. It's not like they can use its ability. It'll just be another token. I think that seems alright. I could try to block with Fangblade Brigand, but that would almost certainly go badly for us, so... You're not very useful here, unfortunately. Here's hoping they forget about their siege zombie again. Yeah, I guess given what they ended up doing, blocking and trying to do first strike would have been better, but damn. Yeah, so they are building a pretty difficult to beat situation for us. I think we'd be dead if they'd use Siege Zombie every turn, so We're about to get there. They can pretty much swing out at this point, I think, and I'm dead. Yeah, basically just have to take it. I mean, doesn't really matter. We're dead either way. Yeah, they'll basically untap and kill us. We needed to draw, like, incredibly well in that game to have a chance, and we didn't do it. Burn down the house. What's crazy about what we were up against is even if we cast something like Burn Down the House, they still had, like, Disturb from their graveyard. But I guess our big werewolf, our Spell Rune werewolf would have survived, so wouldn't be too bad, but... Desperation swing there would have wasted both of our times. Both of our times? So, this is an interesting hand. If we draw green, it's amazing. Although, we kind of need, like, green and another land to really get there. I like this set so far. And, yeah, my record isn't amazing right now. But I think it'll get there. It's funny, because AFR was my format with my best record in a long time, but I didn't really like... I mean, I didn't love it. Especially, like, 25 drafts in, I was kind of done. So... But I like this one more, and I'm doing worse, so I don't know what that means. So I think we probably mulligan, unfortunately for us. Okay. I think we probably put Burn the Accursed back. It's just so expensive. And, I mean, I could put back one of the 2 drops instead. Yeah, maybe I just do that, because making sure I have removal in my hand certainly doesn't hurt. Yeah, well, I haven't played red-green that much, but we have today, that's for sure. Although, overall, our record with red-green, if we lose this game, will be 7-6. So, we'll have 1 more than we lost. And that's if we lose this game. We could still win it. So, we really need that 3rd land to show up. And that 4th land, too, if possible. That'd be great. Werewolf, defenestrated. Hey, there's a 3rd land. Play our Admirer. And it's not like my record's bad. Like, you know, more than a 50% win percentage is good. I mean, I aim for 60, generally speaking. But, yeah, it's not great right now. I'm hopeful I can get to around 60. I do in pretty much every format. Even sometimes it takes me a while. Like in Kaldheim, I was doing really poorly, like the first 25 drafts. But then the second 25, I did really well, and I ended up like 57. That was like my worst one in a while. So I think we'll get there. So we just play our Brigand here, I think. That Audric's Outrider is a problem. Finding a way to kill it would be nice. And we actually have a way to kill it. We just need to draw land. Yeah, we're not going to block. We don't really want to give him a counter and all of that. Okay, so yeah, we're just going to kill Audric's Outrider here. They don't even get the counter because it just dies. I mean, it gets exiled, rather. So we can transform both of these, which would be interesting. I definitely just take 3 if that's what they did there. Okay, so... Interesting. So I can make you a 5/5 with first strike, and that means they don't really have a good block. So I think we attack here with our Eviscerator. Good chance they just chump, but we're okay with that. Then we'll play Shadow Beast Sighting. Okay, well, we really need to kill that. It's going to be hard to do it, though. Because unless they tap out. Okay. Now we're actually going to be able to kill it. So I'm happy about that. Because they can only use its ability once, and that'll make it a 4/4. And I have Coven. Yeah. I could also transform if I really needed to. 1, 3, 4. Yeah, so it'll become... Fangblade Brigand will become a 4/5, and it'll kill Flesh Taker. I could actually... Maybe I actually want to use it on this 4/4, because this... Then I can use Unnatural Moonrise and transform this, and then its ability makes it very difficult to block. Yeah. That might be better. So they can only sack one thing to it. They decided to do it. I guess it makes Unruly Mob kind of a problem. Kind of forgot about that. Lets them scry, too. Okay. So... Still have a pretty good attack here. I don't have anything else to do with my mana, so I may as well do more damage. Get to draw a card. I guess I might have drawn a thing I could play, huh? That might have been... Okay, we couldn't play him at least. This is one of the better sacrifice decks I've seen so far. But the good news is we can kill Unruly Mob here since we drew our Duel for Dominance. I think we probably put the counter on the token again. Although the Brigand being a 4/5 is pretty attractive. I wouldn't be able to attack with it this turn, and I'm going to play Tovolar, and I'd like to be able to, so... So yeah, we'll put the counter here, kill the mob. Play Tovolar. Attack with Brigand. They just want to draw cards. I can only kill one of them, actually, so... So they do have Crawl from the Cellar, but they don't have a zombie in place. So they're not going to get full value. We're going to transform our whole board this next turn. You know, I forget this guy can transform all on his own. I need 3 or more other wolves or werewolves, and right now I have 2, and it's an upkeep thing. So they transform anyway, though, so that's cool. All right, so... We're in a pretty good position right here. I think I just swing out. So they can quadruple block Tovolar if I do that. So probably not. I probably just swing with these 3. Yeah. And I can give one of them trample and do a bunch of damage too, so... Okay, so we're going to draw 2 cards off of this, which is great. Nice. 4, 7. Do I want to just play Shadow Beast Sighting, or do I want Dawnheart Mentor? Dawnheart Mentor obviously will allow us to attack even more effectively. The bad news is they're going to untap, and then Flesh Taker will be kind of online. But it might not matter. I probably don't want a double spell, I guess. So if I do play Dawnhart Mentor, I probably only play one. So I'm just going to play Shadow Beast Sighting here. I guess going wide with the Eviscerator has some serious value. So they're going to be able to get rid of Tovolar here, but he's already done his job. And maybe we'll just top deck our other one. That'd be cool. Alright, they are going to untransform everything and get to draw a card here, which I don't love. So do I want to Moonrise here and then also Dawnhart Mentor? Because if I Moonrise and swing, I can do so much damage. I guess I won't have mana for that ability if that's what I do. I still have the mana for the first ability, and it's not like they can very effectively block it, so I think we go for it. Oh, I forgot that might let them draw a card. I should be paying attention to these things. Yeah, so they get to draw a Stromkirk Blood Thief off of that. I don't love that. I'd probably just swing out. They don't exactly have good blocks, so... So I get to trample with that and draw a card. And that's dead in combat. That's going to be a bunch of damage thanks to trample. Yeah, no, we don't use the ability. I think I'm going to double spell here, which will untransform it, but I think that's okay. Drop them to 6. Draw a card. Yeah, I think we play Dawnhart Mentor here. Which they're also going to get to draw a card off of, but that's okay. They missed on that one, at least. So Flesh Taker is going to be more of a problem, but I'm hopeful that we've gone wide enough at this point, and we have Dawnhart Mentor's ability, that it's not going to matter that much. So we've got 8 mana. They also tapped out, so they can't use Flesh Taker's ability. Yeah, I was going to say, they're dead. Alright. 6-win Werewolf deck. Flesh Taker's not quite a bomb. You know, I have a strict definition of bomb that it doesn't meet, but is it a high-quality uncommon that you always play in your black-white decks? Obviously. And is it a key card? Yes. But like, a good card does not equal bomb in my lexicon. Alright, so this will be our last game with this deck one way or another. Win or lose. So the secret to doing well with werewolves. Get 2 Tovolars. That's it. Also, make people rage quit. I wonder if part of people rage quitting is that they're like, man, everyone's saying this is the worst color pair and I'm losing. No, Flesh Taker's not a bomb. It's like a B+. You know. As we saw in that game, it's definitely not that much of a bomb. I don't think Morbid Opportunist is a bomb either. I think it's like a build around B+. No 2s, but we've got some nice stuff. Spellrune Painter and Duel for Dominance are always pretty good. Slow start for sure. They're having one too. I think we just add to the board in a real way while we can. And then probably play the Reservoir late. Oh my. Okay. Interesting. I mean, I could play Augur and start trying to grind out value here, but I think it's probably going to be better to just play our Brigand for now. We've had a lot of luck go our way in terms of our opponents not being able to do things in this game. In this deck, this draft, I mean, I think that's also key to doing well with werewolves. Is, you know, have your opponents have problems. Okay, luckily we can kill her this time. And then some, actually. So I think we probably play the guide. Although, I guess double spelling, probably not worth it. But yeah, it probably is, though, because I get a counter. Yeah. Where do I want to put it? Probably here. I mean, it gets better. More first strike we have going on. Then we use duel for dominance on this to get a counter there. And attack them for 10. Good game, yeah. I did flip my werewolves for you, though. So that's good news. I don't want to say good game yet, because I don't know if they're serious. That's the awkward thing about Arena. Like, I don't know if they're just, like, saying it. So, I think we just play Village Watch. It's actually not big enough. Interesting. So I shouldn't have played my land, because the best play here is probably no longer... Yeah. They do... If I attack with all three, they have to block the Brigand, basically. Yeah. So I think we attack with all three here. Because the Brigand can take its power to 6, and then the other creature is lethal. So yeah, they have to block. Oh, yeah, I could have played the Village Watch for lethal. Good call. Overthinking. That's for sure. Player Augur. Yeah, I mean, they're still alive. All right, so yeah, this should give us lethal. All right, 7 wins with werewolves. We had pretty darn good luck for the most part, and a pretty absurd werewolf deck. We had enough rares to make it get it going for sure, and pretty much all the werewolf payoffs in the set that are worth playing we had too. So it takes a lot. It takes a lot.